some scratch, some plus handicappers, things like that. So I'm hoping by playing with them, they're going to bring me on, which, as everybody says, you will get better if you play with better players. So this is the start of it. Consider this my introduction to making Craig great again. Videos. So we'll see how it goes. Next part of this video will be parts of my lesson with Lee. Cheers.
So, has there been any kind of particular message you've noticed recently, or?
No, actually, on the positive, it is not going as right as
As it was previously. Good.
It was previously. So, I think it's more just repetition for me now.
Right.
Can you think of it? Right. So I'll show you what I've been up to.
Yeah.
You want me to press go on that thing?
No, because I've managed to set up the thing that just
Alright.
does the thing, so you can
Good.
relax. Right. So I'm normally in between the two pins there.
Far better strike, way off the bat. You weren't anything like that the last time I saw you.
No.
I mean, setup, by the way, right away is 90. Just keep hitting up through the now.
Yep. I'm trying to kind of get in a rhythm of like same setup all the time.
Yeah, what
That
difference? That is, by the way, that's quality.
And then the foot's been the main one.
Giving the right foot back.
Trying to keep this foot down into the.
Which one's that again?
Yeah, this one.
Aye.
You know, I was kind of jumping before.
Aye, you kind of getting off it. We were trying to get the left, getting your weight into the left heel on the way down.
Yeah.
Just at the crossbar. Nice. Nice.
So I'd say that's typical of what I've been doing recently.
Yeah, just a little bit clean.
Yes.
Oh, but honestly, really quite a big improvement from the last time I saw you. A lot of things are a lot better. So like in right heel staying a lot more clarity, left heel's also staying down better.
Mm-hmm.
Club's a lot more on plane. Yeah, just maybe a touch of like stalling in the middle.
Right, okay.
And so it looks like you kind of stop moving hips. Your typical tendency is to early extend. And so you get to quite a nice spot here. And then you start to move that sort of way.
Yeah.
It's almost like actually in your backswing, you actually move a touch towards the wall.
Alright, okay.
And before you even get into transitions up, it's a little bit like you go kind of this way.
Yep.
And then you go up rather than kind of getting this right hip back and deep
Yeah.
and having a little bit more of a tilt here.
Right, okay.
And then from there you're able to just turn and work under. So I think we'll maybe just do a bit of work on that today. Just
Was
tidy-
this bit where you were saying like try to throw the club?
Not quite. It's something else. We're going to focus more on how like the lower body's working because you come and see this just so you get a bit of an idea of what's going on. So if you have a look here. Let's pause that there. Right, so that's you at the beginning there, right?
Yep.
Because your hips are like kind of lips, they're not a circle. Ideally what we'd like to see is this right hip working through the side of the phone and then the left hip working through the side of the phone on the way through. In the backswing you actually start to create space already.
Yeah.
Right, so you've already moved a good couple of inches towards the ball, and by the time you get to about here, you're probably a good 3 to 4 inches closer to the ball.
Yeah.
Right, so that's why you see yourself coming out your posture quite a bit. So you see where your head is there.
Yeah.
That's probably about the height it's at there. By the time you get to impact, the head starts to raise up a bit.
Come up, yeah.
And then same with the spine angle, so your spine angle is probably about in line with my thumb there. By the time you get back to impact, it's actually a lot more upright. And because the hips are just like popped underneath, so you get kind of a bit like that.
Yeah.
And like this.
Right, okay.
Whereas we'd rather you try and stay in this posture a little bit better and that. And it's a lot easier for you to shift and cover the ball.
Right, okay.
Rather than getting a bit this way. Once this hip starts moving forward, what happens is your spine angle will start to go up and your shoulders will get a bit flatter.
Right.
If you can think more rather than that going forward, because the hips are actually working on like a decent plane.
Yeah.
It's just that this is moving forward like that. But you've actually got quite a decent amount of mobility.
Right.
There, it looks like that's going forward rather than the right hip moving back.
We did that the last time the way we did that bit with the line, and I was trying to do like hide the pocket
A bit,
and
yeah.
then round, but I just
So what I want you to feel is that you're trying to get in your backswing when you really feel like you're trying to get a little bit more pressure in this right glute.
Right.
And you see what that happens, what it does to your shoulders right away. Like my left shoulder's way lower than my right there.
Yeah.
Than it would have been normally. So if like you typically get a bit this way then like that, we want you to feel a little bit the opposite. So feeling like you go deep and have a bit more tilt here.
Okay.
So you will feel closer to the ball, which is good because we don't want you having to throw the club as much. We want you to get here and be able to really turn and drive.
Right, okay.
Right?
Yep.
So we're just going to focus on the backswing to start with. So all I really want you to think about is feeling like that right hip is getting deeper. So feel like the weight's going into your right heel in the backswing.
Right.
Because it still looks like you probably get a little bit too much weight towards your toes.
Right.
In the backswing. So it almost feel like you're kind of sitting back a little bit. So show me the top of the backswing. You don't even do that in your normal backswing. You want that right hip to go way further back. Right, so let the right hip go really as far back as you can. Really turn big. That's it. Can you feel weight going into that right hip there?
Yeah.
We're actually going to do this slightly different. Do it again. Go top of the backswing again. Right, I think I want you to shift more right in the beginning. We're going to frame this slightly differently. Right. Pass that club just now. I'm going to get you to do this drill. It's quite a good sequencing drill. This. It's just giving you a good understanding of how you're trying to transition into this right hip.
Yeah.
And because it is brief, you are like really just want to be there for a short period of time and then move move back to the left side.
Yeah.
But what I want you to do is start with club right out in front of you. And I just want you to take a step there and go into the top of your backswing. And I just want you to take that left foot off the ground.
Right, okay.
Right, so I really just want you to feel like you're getting right into this right hip. So you're really turning internally into this right hip. And you'll feel quite a lot of pressure in that right glute. Because at the moment, you can just go like this. And it looks like there's no pressure anywhere.
Yeah.
Right, it looks like you're a bit disjointed.
Yeah. Right, so start like here.
No, so watch. Come over to this and out. So, start with both feet either side of this line, right?
Yeah.
Club's going to be out in front of you.
Yeah.
I want you to take a small step to the right. So small step to the right like that. Take the club back, and then I want that other foot going behind there.
Right, okay.
Because then you have to be into that right foot. The left foot should be on the ground in this drill by the end of it. So start with the club ahead of you.
Up ahead of me.
Yeah. Nice. Right. Do it again, but make sure that that left foot works behind the right. So you go like that.
Right, okay.
A wee dance move.
Like a skater.
But yeah. So really get that left foot behind the right. Not just over here, yeah, but behind it. So I want that left foot on the other side of that line.
Right.
Yeah.
That felt like I just moved my foot for the sake of moving my foot there. Like I didn't, the motion didn't take it.
We'll get there.
Right.
So the first thing you try to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So start with the club way out in front of you here. Right? So the idea is that you're feeling like you're pulling the club back. So up here we pull, get the start. Right, so shift.
Right.
There you go. That's the way. Right. Nice. Right, so like imagine you like this was like kid, there's a ship there and you're trying to like pull a rope back.
Right, okay.
And you're trying to like pull a ship in.
Yeah.
So I think this is gonna go out to sea.
Yeah.
If that was there, you'd have to go that way to pull it back.
Yeah.
Nice. That's it. Not quite as behind it, that. It's not
a bit opposing.
yeah. Right, we're not bowling, right?
Yeah.
Just enough to get you feeling like you're turning into this right hip. Do it one more time. Yeah, so feel like let's give you a thing to look at as you're doing it. So I want you to still imagine you're going to be hitting a golf ball when you're doing this, right?
Okay.
So set up again. Right. So you're obviously not going to actually hit this ball.
Okay.
But I just want you to keep your eye on it as you do this drill.
Right.
Did you give your eye?
No.
Right. Right. Nice. That was a way better than next swing. Right. Right. Again. Far better. Because before you were kind of just like turning a bit like this,
Yeah.
and it kind of looks like you've got no way of pressing into anything.
Yeah.
We said we can get you moving a little bit more laterally, then you can shift into that left hand side. You can't shift left if you're already left.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas you're kind of just going like here right away, and then you kind of got nowhere to go from there.
Yeah.
We want to give you a little bit more of a shift into the right hand side, and then you can shift back into the left.
Okay.
And should be easier to cover the ball for you.
Right, we'll try and hit the ball then.
Yeah, so go back over there. So just remind yourself of that kind of feeling now that it's obviously going to be like a normal setup rather than it being quite as dynamic.
Yeah.
So just remind yourself what that feeling will kind of look like. So go top of the backswing for me, show me you're loading that right glute. That's way better. And then you've got a chance of then being able to shift back to the left hand side.
Yeah.
Imagine you were playing football and you had to get past them and you had to cut left.
Yeah.
You can't cut left if your weight's already on your left side.
Yeah.
And you can't go anywhere for there. If your weight's on your right side, you can go.
So.
Yeah, and then you can shift left and open up. Great strike. Nose out to the right, but strike is already on there. Oh, what a difference right away. Like, your shoulders went from like that to that in like your first swing, which is quality. We want that left shoulder more down.
Because then it's more of a turn, eh?
Well, it's more of a tilt.
Yeah.
We don't want you already rotate plenty, you don't have enough tilt. Not bad. Wanna see another? So we're really trying to feel like we're shifting into that right hand side,
Yep.
loading that right glute, and then you can get back into the left hand side and just open up.
Right, okay.
And then you've also got like a little bit more momentum going that way. There's 3 ways you can produce force in a golf swing, right?
Yep.
Rotationally, like horizontally or laterally,
Yep.
or vertically. At the moment, you just rotate.
Right, okay.
We're trying to give you some more stuff that'll like stable the club and make it move a bit more
Yeah.
efficiently and a bit faster.
That was rush.
Alright. You maybe just got stuck in the left side a bit more there.
And that felt like that was about 100 mile an hour as well. Like I was like
Aye.
right back and right.
But I mean, it's so much tidier already. Like, it tilts all there. Go again.
Go again.
So really think about loading that right glute. So really want you get into that right hand side, and then you can shift left and cover the ball.
Okay.
Bad, it looks like maybe the right shoulder just got a bit higher, but strike was brilliant.
I tried to do that, like slow that down a bit. I
that's
felt
right.
like the first one was
I'm
like
quite happy for you to just like
yeah, just
hit,
to like
like,
get
you didn't have to hit full shots in it. Hit like 3/4 ones if you
yeah,
did.
yeah.
As long as you're loading that right glute, I'm quite happy. As long as like the loading to the right side's better and your tilt's better.
Yep.
Which, to be honest, they both were there already.
I've never drawn a ball like that before. What would cause that to happen?
So the path has to be out to the right.
Right.
So like the only way that the ball can move right to left is if the path is further out to the right than where the face is pointing.
Right.
So the face was probably pointing bang on the yellow flag there.
Yeah.
But the path was probably closer to like the bunker on the right.
Right. Okay. And then I've come across it.
No, so you've swung the club out to the right.
Right.
But with a face that's closed relative to that path.
Right. Okay.
So like if you swung that dead straight,
Yeah.
it probably would have just went dead straight.
Right. Okay.
You know, because the face is pointing there.
Yeah. So was that a draw or a hook then?
It was a draw. It probably overcooked that here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like nothing major.
Aye.
But
Because
the
that's
thing is-
not my normal
So
shot.
the thing is, the more you get good at getting into this right hit and having a better tilt, right, and then shifting left and opening up, the less likely you're going to have the ball pooping over like that.
Right. Okay.
Then, because the more you get your like centre of mass left, the harder it is for the club to close over.
Right.
It's going to just stay open for longer,
Right.
which is eventually what we're trying to do. Because you do a lot of that
Yeah.
around about impact. It's like a lot of just like stalling and trying to save it with the hands.
Yeah.
We want to get all this a bit better, like in terms of sequence and organisation. So by the time you get here, you can still feel like you're releasing it like that. It's just like the ball's just coming into your arc a little bit earlier,
Right.
and
Okay.
you're just going to squeeze it a bit more rather than you feel like you're getting here and you're like, right, I need to toss it and do something to catch it because you're
Yeah.
like coming out of your posture. If you're in your posture for a lot longer, you can just open up and cover the ball.
Right. Okay.
When I'm saying cover the ball, it's like you're not having to go like that and toss the club and like
Yeah.
have like a really weak loft to get into the ball by the time it gets to impact. It's more like by the time you get to the ball, you've de-lofted the club a bit and you're squeezing it out there.
Right. Okay.
And so we're thinking almost like squeezy draws is a good thought for you.
Okay.
And so really load that right side. I'll back straight again. So really move into that right hip.
Oh.
It's far better than it was. We just need to.
Tidy it up a bit.
Yeah. It's like your hips really want to move. Like once you get. Like this bit's good. You're
Yeah.
already like more tilted.
Yeah.
But then once you get to here, it's like you really want to move your hips that way for some reason.
Right.
And like the hips like want to shoot out to the right, rather than getting here and then just turning them back and out the way. And letting this work more kind of underneath rather than out that way.
Right. Okay. Right.
And it just makes you having kind of like your upper body is actually quite like well organised.
Oh.
It's just your hips want to come forward so much that you have to kind of go like that and just toss the club to try and catch the ball.
Yeah.
And because you end up getting too far away from it and you're like, right, I'm gonna have to catch it eventually.
Yeah.
That was a good
That's way
swing.
better.
A far better swing. Right away. And so, what did you kind of feel on that one? Did you just feel like once you got into, maybe once you were finished with the backswing, you pressed off that left side a bit better, maybe?
If I'm honest with you, it just felt like I was swinging the club.
Right, okay.
Like I wasn't trying
That's
to
fine.
force anything into doing anything. It just
Yeah.
kind of, I don't know.
That's alright. You're more than welcome to just say, I don't know what I've done there.
Aye.
Like, that's okay.
I'm very much the Ted Lasso be a goldfish type.
Nice. I mean, you've definitely got something that you could go out and play on the golf course with, like, right now. Which
Yeah.
Is,
That one there, I felt
Which
like I
is
did
great.
try to sway back a bit.
yeah.
So I was moving away from it,
Uh,
and then trying to come.
yeah.
Like-
We're trying, basically all we're trying to add here is a bit more, like, lateral movement.
Yeah.
There's, like, other stuff we can do. like tidy up, like even just from like an aesthetics point of view, but it's not the most necessary thing
No.
to do for us right now.
No.
And
My biggest thing is, I would say, and probably the times I've played with you as well, that no two swings are the same, right? Like they'll chop and change all the time. So if I had something that was repeatable, that's what I'm comfortable and happy and be happy with. And I'm so used to over the years just having this lazy flick at the last minute that this trying to do this movement thing is what I want.
you do a really good job of like squaring the club basically for the position that you're in.
Let's have a look. Aye, there's. Right, that makes sense. There's practically like no side bend. So by side bend I mean like.
So there's a few different ways that you can shallow the club, right? The way that you do it is almost entirely from like your wrists.
Yeah.
So you get quite like inside and deep and across the line here, right? So like hands are right really deep that way, comes across, but then you do a really good job of it going that way to get it back on.
Right.
Which like isn't the end of the world. There's like plenty of guys that have played like that and played good like that. Although it can make it quite difficult for you to cover the ball.
Yep.
Because what will end up happening is you'll start to go this way a wee bit to shallow it as well.
Yeah.
I would almost rather, when you get up here, that you went more that way. So this is called side bend. Anything that's like that is side bend.
Right.
Right? The four ways I was getting on to how you shallow the club are either from your wrists, which is kind of what you do,
Yep.
your shoulder, you can do it through side bend, or you can do it through early extensions, or just extending in the hips, doesn't have to be early. So you do a little bit you do quite a lot of the wrist, and then a bit of the early extension to get the club to shallow out, right? Whereas I think I would rather see you not early extend, but feel like that right shoulder goes closer to the right hip.
Okay.
And then it's a lot easier to stay in your posture and keep on top of the golf ball.
Right.
That drill, like just pulling the club back, I think will help you quite a lot.
Yeah.
And feeling like you're just like, imagine you were like catching a ball. I was actually going to bring my medicine ball today as well. If I had like a medicine ball and I was to throw it at you, you wouldn't really have to think much, but you would just kind of catch it and then throw it back.
Yeah.
You wouldn't catch it and bring it round here and then try and throw it back.
Yeah.
And you just kind of catch it on the plane that you're
naturally.
flying.
Yeah.
That's why it's quite good to do drills with the club like out in front of you at the beginning and feel like you're pulling like that. And so like do a couple of those drills, right? And just show me you really trying to like step into that right side, but start with the club way out in front of you. So I don't want you to hit the ball here. Right? I just want you to do the backswing. Right? So club way out in front of you. Nice. And I want you to like turn into your right hip hard, and I want you to pull it back hard. Yeah, do it again. So really pull the club back hard. Right, so when you get into the top of the backswing.
Okay.
Nice. Right.
I think, see if I did it like.
So really feel like you can even start with like, it here, right? And like push it forward and then pull it back.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to.
Try that one.
Yeah.
And so start with the club actually like here, right?
Yep.
And then let it just flow forward and then rip it back. Way better. Because like what we want you to do is not have to think too much about the backswing and feel like you're doing a bunch of shit. I just want you to be able to like react to
Yeah.
Right? So come and see this backswing you just made there. Right? So, we'll swing through. Right, we're going to pull it back. Look how much more up and on point that is.
Yeah.
So it's only at the last second there that you decided to go like that and make it flat.
Yeah.
Right, and try and get the hands deeper. But like, I would say you could just, like, if you're trying to think of something at home that you could just work on loads, do that, because eventually you'll tidy up your like shoulder tilts in the plane that the club is working back on, without having to think, oh, I need to put the club in this place.
Right, okay.
And if you just think, it's quite good, like, even if you're doing speed work and stuff, that sort of stuff's quite handy where you have it in front of you like that and you're just trying to pull it back hard. You see how quickly you like have to go into that side to get a bit of pressure in early and get a bit of force. And then the club kind of has to work outside of your hands, and rather than you have a bit of thing where you go that way, you can't really do that and produce like force on the way back.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense. And if you just think about trying to pull this club back, which is on it, you just try and think about pulling this club back. It's always going to be outside your hands, like that.
Right, okay.
And that's me just like, I'll pull hard and just like stop there, right? Way outside my hands.
Yeah.
And so like you can get a feel for that really early. And you can see how much more tilts on my shoulder there, just by thinking, like, all I'm trying to do is pull this back hard.
Yep.
The club gets a little bit more upright, and the club stays a little bit more in front of you, whereas you like to get a bit here, like that. But like, ideally, you don't have to think, oh, I need to get my club into this position. I just want you to think, just pull the club back.
Yeah.
And then eventually it'll start to drip feed in.
Yeah.
And that drill that we done at the start, this is just like a slight extension on that, just like pull it back harder.
Yeah.
And or you can like even, like I said, you can start with it kind of swinging freely and then just like swing it ahead of you and then step back and pull. Oh, that was a great backswing. Same thing again. It's so much tidier right
That one there I never moved though.
Okay. That's good. It gives you feedback though.
Yeah.
Which is what we want. I mean, that's a pretty like significant difference, by the way, in like a swing. So like, look at this here. Watch how much more on point this is, like early doors. Right, how much more the club stays outside the hands. So, watch this on the way back.
Hold on. Spin this.
And so this is you really try to pull it back hard. Club can't not stay outside the hands. How? I mean, that's running straight through your hands, or maybe just outside them, which is what we'd prefer.
Yep.
It's just the last second that you're then pulling them in, but that's not as severe as what it was.
Yeah.
So if we get you to try and make that same swing, but feel like that left shoulder's still tilting more and get a little bit more pressure into this right glute, you'll tilt a bit more like that, and this will just sit a bit nicer at the top, and then you can just like let rip at it. So I see a lot of time if guys do speed work, they tend to just like arrange themselves better quite quickly.
Yeah.
There's actually a video, what was it, Super Speed put up the other day there. It's like this 7 or 8 year old laddie. He's just started doing speed training. After 2 weeks of work, he went from having a swing that was like kind of this to that.
Right,
and
okay.
just like aggressive on plane. And like all he's been trying to do is swing it harder.
Right.
And all of a sudden everything just becomes more effective and efficient.
Right, okay.
And so there's like no downside to sometimes working on doing a bit of speed work, because like I can often just like tidy up your sequence in as well. Rather than everyone just thinks like, oh, speed work's just to try and hit the ball now. So yeah, it is. And who doesn't want that for one thing?
Yeah.
But it also just like gets you aware of how to arrange your body a bit more effectively. I mean, that's a pretty significant difference in your backswing there instantly.
Yeah.
Like if you see your swing let's just go through swings back. Right. And the last one. See that inside guard there?
Yeah.
Like that's really inside there.
Yeah.
When you go to that most recent one. That is bang on plane.
Yeah.
Bang on plane. Like, there's not a single thing wrong with that. And it's the last second you see how you stand up a bit there.
Yeah.
That's the bit we're trying to get rid of. We're trying to get you feel like that left shoulder stays more down, and a bit more like that.
Right, okay.
But you'll get that just by really trying to work on it. There's honestly, you should just do this drill until you're blue in the face.
Right.
Because there's like no doubt about it for you at all.
Aye.
All it's going to do is help you like produce a bit more force, get you a bit more on plane, and a bit more efficient. How good is that? That's a lovely strike. Now was you just trying to like tap one?
Yeah.
But that's you still having to think about things and how to arrange them. Oh, it's so much better.
And the hips done less of that.
Right, okay.
Already you're like, because you're putting so much pressure up here, and now you're getting a bit more pressure in the grip, you're like, right, I need to fucking really dig here to pull this back down. Rather than getting up here with no pressure and just going like that to try and produce force.
Yep.
You're getting a bit more pressure kind of laterally and a bit more vertically. So see when you kind of get to the top of the backswing and then go like that, it's called unweighting. Because like at one point there's like not very much weight going on like in your feet.
Yeah.
And then you press it through down and push off.
Right, okay.
So much better. You don't have to think about that bit. It's a useful bit for you to understand.
Aye. I'll try and move the pendulum a bit.
Yeah. Oh, do it before you hit the shot. So just like remind yourself of that feeling.
Yeah. Not quite the one.
Not quite, but better. Definitely better. But like that drill that you done where you also hit the ball, do that all the time.
Yeah.
That's such a good drill for you. That was actually going to be like the next step up.
Right, okay.
But I didn't expect you to just go and try and hit the ball. So great.
Well, that more that one.
But like it's a good method for you to like pick it up quickly.
Yeah.
Like if you do that drill and you do that one where you've like shelled it out to the right, what do we think you've maybe done there?
Had my hands open it. And we open it.
Well, yeah, but how did it end up getting open? It's like we know what your tendency
Yes,
is.
it's
It's
to
for
be-
your hips to go that way,
Yeah.
right? So what we're trying to get control of are the hips mainly. Right? So if you pull this back hard and then turn here and open up, those are the ones that you're going to cover. The ones that you fanny out to the right are when you get back here and have your hips popping forward.
Yeah.
We really want to get you used to that sort of feeling, and then you can shift left and really get onto that
Yeah.
left hand side and open up. It's kind of hard to like press and open up if you've just been getting here, like all your weight's kind of been forward, and then you're just like
Yeah.
having your hips go further forward. You can't like, you're not able to clear your hips. The fact that you hit blocks is like not a surprise.
Right,
At all. Because like, there's nowhere for the club to go. It's not
Yeah.
getting a chance for the club to square up.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, man. I know that was a wee bit thin and peely, but
The move looks better.
I felt like my hands were a bit more where they should have been.
Yeah. Definitely closer.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. And you're definitely like shifting left better.
Yeah.
yeah, like it looks less like you're throwing the club and trying to save it. It looks like you've shifted here and then you can just let the like club go,
Right, okay.
rather than you're trying to manipulate the club at the last minute to really square it up.
Yeah.
Which is what happens. The more you get good at getting left,
Yeah.
then eventually like the harder it is for the club to rotate. And so really show me you load that right going. Bad hips came forward a bit there though.
Yeah.
That's also how you'll get like thin heely ones.
Right.
If you think about it, if you're set up like this, let me grab that. You say that like that's the ball, right? You set up like that, and by the time you get to the ball, you're now a little bit taller and essentially a little bit closer to the ball,
Yeah.
you're going to start getting a little bit higher up the ball and a little bit closer to the heel,
Yeah.
rather than you load it that right side, have a bit more tilt, and then shift and turn, you're going to get closer to the middle.
Right. Okay. Yep.
That can make sense.
Yep.
Now, if your hips, you get taller and your hips come forward, it's hard for the club not to also get closer to the ball.
Yeah.
And it's hard for it not to go out. You're all good on your gum. Big chap, how are you? Right, so show me the drum backswing again, because we want to really get that nailed down. Yeah, no, so from like in front of you.
From in front.
So I quite like what you were doing with this side, because it was giving you a bit of intent.
Yep.
I'm actually going to steal that. That's a great idea. I definitely had that idea in the first place.
Of course you did.
Right. Rip it. Nice. Right. Do that again. It's so much better. Far better like that. I love that.
Okay.
You do that drill forever, right? You get, and if you can get to the point where you can hit the ball doing that sort of drill, it's going to start feeling really easy when you just have, like, when you're not having to move as much.
Yeah.
And when you're just standing over the ball and you just have to like get a wee bump into the right and you just go like that.
Right. Okay. Right. We're trying one a wee bit over the top again of the ball, right?
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
So.
I still really want you going hard on the way back. Mate, that's quality. I know like it's a little bit heavy and stuff, but most people won't make contact doing it.
Right.
That's a good sign. It means you've got like pretty good hand-eye coordination.
Yeah.
Like, most people fully miss the ball when they try to do that.
Right. Okay.
And so pretty good if you're managing to like get even close to it.
So what you would reckon then? Because obviously we need to be doing that in like game mode, but that could maybe build that into my kind of pre-shot.
Aye,
routine, eh?
absolutely. So like, I think a good one for you, you kind of done a little bit of it yourself, was standing over the ball and just like, and once you've addressed the ball, I'd say do a rehearsal first and start it with the club in front of you like that,
Right. Okay.
and just do that.
Yep.
And just do it like once, and just go to the top. So you just like pull it back and you feel like you're loading this right hand side,
Right.
and then you can step over the ball. And you can do like we look at the target, like kind of wee last reminder, and then you can go.
And then put it down. Right. Okay.
And you want to just like before you're hitting a shot, you want to clarify the intent that you, and like the move you're trying to make,
Yeah.
and you want to be like absolutely crystal clear. This is how I'm trying to move the club.
Right.
This is how I'm trying to move the body.
Right.
Because when that's not clear, that's when errors start to happen.
Yeah.
When like people get a little bit like doubt or a bit
Well, that's
uncertainty.
like a lot of people will be like, "Oh, what's your swing thought?" And I genuinely don't have, like,
You
I
got one now, don't you?
I've got one now, but at the time,
Hey, look at, come and see this by the way for that last swing, because that, I mean, it was absolutely awesome, right? Just club working back, so you do still put a little bit on the side, but you'll get better at that. The more you, if you thought more of tilting there earlier, that wouldn't happen,
yep.
right? Then watch how little this club, also less across the line,
Yep.
right away, right? Way less of a flip.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
See how like much more like stable
Yeah.
that structure is there.
Yeah.
It's a lot more like that
I felt I
rather
kept
than
my hand. I did feel like I kept my hand down in
aye. But it's
instead
not
of
like
flicky.
but it's not like you flick just for the sake of flicking. You've been flicking because
Yeah,
this has
done
been
that.
a wee bit like like
Yeah.
a bit disjointed.
Yep.
You kind of had to reach for the ball a little bit
Yeah.
because your hips have came forward and you came in posture. You're like too far away from the ball, so you go a bit like
Aye.
that to try and catch it. If we can keep your like chest more on top of the ball, then by having a bit more tilt,
Yeah.
you don't have to throw like turn the club over as much. You can just kind of cover it.
Right. Okay. Right. So we'll do a proper shot then, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So let's see the pre-shot routine as well. That probably felt like there was a lot of pressure on that one. So this is the first one that's a proper shot.
Yeah.
They've all been proper shots.
Proper shot.
Right, so let's do it again.
Right.
So, talk me through the routine. So we're picking a spot in front of us.
Right.
Right.
So I'm going to pick that yellow flag, right?
Yeah.
And then between the pylons is where I'm trying to hit, as long as I'm in that. But the yellow flag.
I just want you to think yellow flag.
Yellow
be,
flag.
Be really specific about her reference point.
Right. So yellow flag.
Wee bit thinning out the heel. That's fine. We know that that's your mix, and that's the thing that we're like combating.
Yeah.
Is a little bit heely and a little bit thin. But already, I like what all of that's doing to your swing. So much better. Yeah. What's the hips here? Already starting to go more that way rather than just straight out to the right.
Yep.
I know you've kind of had to like toss across that one a wee bit, but it's like it doesn't look quite as much that way. It's a bit more here and that.
Yeah.
Rather than here and here.
Right. Okay. Right. Yellow flag.
Right. So do your practice swing like away from the ball. Right. So I actually want you to like start with the club out in front of you.
Yeah.
And really rip it back. I actually want to hear like a whoosh on the way back.
Yeah. Right.
That's how hard you should be pulling it back. As if you were trying to hit a ball with your backswing. Beautiful. That's a lovely strike. Far nicer. The better you get shifting into that right hand side, the easier everything gets for you.
Yeah.
Everything gets so much more on plane. Like, it's just quality.
Yeah.
And it's more athletic. It's less like, oh, I'm having to think about this and the next thing or whatever. Yeah, it's so much better. That's quality. Can you see the top of the back? Like, already that club's getting closer to getting through the hands halfway back.
Yeah.
Ideally, we want the club to be passing either through the hands on the way back, or maybe just on that side of them, the
Right.
ball side of them. Right, if we're being like picky. You see the top of the backswing, that shoulder plane's a bit more tilted now.
Yeah.
And before you were a lot flatter than that. The club's less across the line now at the top.
Yeah.
And there you shift left. You see how you're getting a little bit of pressure down in that left leg.
Yeah.
Way more on plane. Before you were getting a little bit under because you were like extending earlier than that. Nice. It's just so much tighter. It's going to keep on getting better.
Yeah.
And eventually we want you ripping through this. You want to have a couple of drives?
Yeah.
Yeah? We want to have another club. So
Yeah.
just to do that sometimes and then get real aware as if we've just spent a lot of time just hitting like an 8.
No, but that's fine. I'd rather get used to it.
Obviously when you come up to practice, just work on, like, a good way to do it is coming up one day doing evens one day, odds another day.
Right. Okay.
And I want you to hit every club in your bag.
Yeah.
Guys are a nightmare for just being like, oh, I love my 7-iron. I'm like,
So I'm just going to.
and it's great on the golf course, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're just going to hit your 7-iron all day.
Exactly.
You're no time cut. No many guys can do that. Right, so it's the exact same process here. So just knock that ball off the tee for me. Now, right, and just do a couple of those like practice swings that we were doing before, where you're kind of swishing over the top of it and you rip it back. Yeah, love that, mate. Nice.
Right.
I really want you feeling like you're going like that and ripping it back. Because the more you try and pull it hard back the way, the more that club stays outside of your hands for longer.
Right.
And then the more likely it's going to get into a good spot at the top.
Right.
And the easier it is for you just to let it go for you.
Okay.
You're just trying to make everything that a little bit more efficient. Not bad. Not a bad first attempt to call me.
Right. You need to go.
I'll
Right. Okay. No worries. I'll.
Just going that way, just a touch. Okay. You just
get here and then you just go a little bit this way.
I think it's because I've got a different club in my hand.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's another thing as well. Like, you've got to remember how much longer a driver is than an 8 iron.
Yeah.
Right. So the longer the club is, the more like the mass of the club wants to pull your centre of gravity forward.
Aye.
And so, if, like, irrespective of what it is that you're working on, if you're using like a driver rather than like a pitching wedge, it's harder for you to keep your hips deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just because it wants to pull you forward, because it's just way longer. Imagine you had like a 7-foot golf club.
Yeah.
A jig, you'd be able to not really extend to that. You'd go to that.
Yeah.
Rip you forward.
Yeah. Right, okay, but same process, right? So,
Absolutely.
right.
Try and just have a slightly wider stance for driver for me. And maybe just put the ball a touch further up in the stance. Nice. Just set up it for me, just give me 1 second. I'm just going to, not any difference with drivers, I just want a little bit more tilt that way.
Okay.
And so you're trying to launch it a bit more. Not bad there, mate.
Did you get that one on video?
Yeah.
Good.
Not bad there. I mean, that's a really big improvement. Should have got your combat speed at the start of this and check out your thing. There's no danger that you won't swing it faster. I mean, that's just way more effective.
Yeah.
And you can see that like your shoulders are obviously quite flat there,
Yeah.
right? Same with driver, we want more tilt.
Okay.
And so it's same with everything. Obviously it's going to be flatter the longer the club is, but we just don't want it quite as shallow as that.
Okay.
We kind of would like to see a little bit more kind of side bend at that point, so a little bit more.
Oh my god, my legs are.
So a little bit more of like once you get here, a bit more that sort of feeling.
Okay.
And so there's a bit more bend there at the side.
Right.
Rather than the reason you're like still having to release the glove hard is because the shoulder's coming a little bit forward. Again, you're getting a little bit tall, so you have to kind of throw the club to try and square it up. But you don't really need to do that as much. If you can get here a bit earlier, you can just kind of turn, and then that's the thing that squares the club.
Right. Okay.
Rather than trying to fiddle about with your hands at the last second.
Yep.
And so if you think about like a high draw sort of like shape, that's the kind of move that you have to make to get there. To get a little bit more on the inside and a little bit more on the up.
Right. Okay.
It's still the same process on the way back. I still want you ripping it back and launch it high.
Higher than that.
Aye, just look like you shifted forward.
Yeah.
Go again. When you just check the face on as well. So just on this one, just feel like you're trying to keep your head behind the ball a bit more.
Okay.
There you go.
That felt better.
Aye. I mean, like, sometimes you just need to, like,
Yeah.
keep your head there.
Yeah.
Like, rather than, like, what, because I think you get a bit this way, like, head goes forward and you go like that, rather than, like,
Yeah.
that. Okay, you see any good players, their heads are almost always behind the ball.
Yeah.
And you rarely see a good player with their head, like, way ahead of it.
Yeah.
Because it's just difficult to get, like, a good ball flight like that. Do one more for me. So, slightly wider stance, a little bit of tilt at the start, right? Keep your head behind the ball. Not quite. Leave it forward and a bit that way. Yeah. Eh?
Yep.
We want it more. Stay back. Here.
Yeah.
Go like that.
Yep. Right, we'll catch you after.
Right.
See you later
See
on.
you later.
Pleasure meeting you, mate.
See ya.
You too.
I'll catch you later on.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, so really try to keep the head behind the ball here.
I might try and slow it down a wee bit just till I get used to that.
So I still want you pulling it back quickly though.
Yeah.
Just looks a little bit that way. Just try to hump the golf ball.
Right, so your like chest and head and everything's moving that way.
Right.
On those like last few ones, whereas the best one you fit, the head's definitely stayed further back fit. So give me 1 second.
Just stay in your setup.
Yep.
Right, that's about through the middle of you there, eh?
Yep.
Right, I don't want your head to get ahead of that line.
Right.
Okay. I want you to feel like you're trying to keep your head behind that line.
Right.
Give me 1 second.
Better?
Well, I mean, it's straight, isn't it? Like,
Yep.
it's a high fade. We can deal with that high fade.
I felt like I had to try, like, to fight to keep my head up there.
Yeah.
Like, behind that yellow, behind that stick.
Well, it will feel like that.
Yeah.
But by the way, like, if you actually see the video, it still moves forward here, but it's a lot better.
Right.
So, like, watch.
This was you on that last one. Right, that was a bit tighter. This was the one before. Too much spike, so you're like way ahead of that PXG side
Yeah.
before you even hit the ball.
Yeah.
Whereas there,
Still covering it.
you can still see
Yeah.
some of the PXG side.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're after. We want to keep that head. And the only way you can keep that head back is by side bending it.
Right.
So the bit that people don't realise in a golf swing, right, is like essentially what happens is during the golf swing, absolutely stealing this for one of the TPI guys, right? At the start you're in flexion, right? So your hips are flexed, right? Once you go into the backswing, you move into left side bend, right? Because if I just rotated for here, right? I'm like bending to my left side, right?
Yeah.
So you go from flexion into left side bend, and then you kind of come back to flexion very briefly, and then the right side bend.
Right. Okay.
Right? Because if I was just to rotate and not move anything here,
Yeah.
then see I'm bent to the side.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not like that. It's more like, imagine you had two big like levers or pulleys here, and you're trying to pull one up like that, and pull the other one up like that.
Yeah.
Okay, you'd have to get a little bit like more kind of crunched up on one side.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Right. Okay.
But an easier way for you, it's good for you just to like understand those kind of concepts.
Yeah.
But really, you just need to think about keeping your head behind the ball. So rip the cup away fast, and then keep your head behind the ball. And that's already so much more usable.
Yeah.
How much club head? Like when was the last time you were on track, man? Do you know what your club head speed is?
No.
Right.
I'd like to think I was 100 mile an hour.
Right. So we'll find out in a minute. This is normally not a million miles away from a track,
Okay.
right? Like in terms of catching numbers, you'll occasionally get a glitchy one, but they're generally pretty much bang on.
Right.
And I'll normally know if it's a glitchy one or not.
Right. Okay.
Right. Let's see. You're not trying to batter this, but I do want you to take the club
Yeah. No problem.
away,
Yeah.
away hard. Like,
Okay.
you pull the club away hard, keep the head behind the ball.
Right.
Lovely ball, mate. Good guess, mate. 99.
That's fine.
How about we see what happens if you get to 105?
Right. Okay.
Right?
Right.
Let's try that.
Right.
So, really want you trying hard on these next few to like.
Does that give you distances?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So you
What do
can't
you
carry.
Right.
Do that carry as well. I'm not too bothered about the efficiency. I'm more bothered about
Yeah.
you picking up club head speed, but like doing it in a manner that's also beneficial to the way that you're moving.
Yeah.
Right. So if you pull the club back harder, typically you can pull it down harder as well. Right.
Yep.
So the only two like stipulations we've got around it
Yep.
is pull the club back hard, keep the head behind the ball.
Okay.
Other than that, swing it as hard as you want.
Right. Okay.
Right? Well, 103, you've got way more than 5 feet. I'll lowball you, mate. You're going to get 105 too quickly and we're going to have to move it up.
Right. Okay.
do that last pass backswing.
What should it be? I know it's different for different, like for a different players is a different thing, but what's like a good 17 handicap average?
That's higher than
speed time?
your average by a mile,
Right,
by
okay.
a country mile.
Right.
That's fast enough. Like 103 would probably be fast enough for you to play off the scratch maybe,
Right, okay.
or like at least 3, 4, 5.
Right.
Obviously, there's a bunch of scratch players that bomb it like 300 yards,
Yeah,
but you've got to think about the guys that are like seniors that play off of like between +1 and 1 that hit 250 all the time.
Yeah.
But they never miss a fairway.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, that's as I said, that's probably what I would like is just something that I can repeat. If it's no a 300-yard drive, but it's a 280-yard drive in the middle of a fairway, I'm happy with that.
My whole thing is I want to teach people to be better athletes.
Yeah.
I don't just want to teach you to be a better golfer.
Yeah.
Typically, if you become a better athlete, you'll just be a
Become
better
a better
golfer as
golfer.
well.
Yeah.
Like you'll get a better understanding of how to produce force, and
Yeah.
the better understanding you've got of that,
Yeah.
the better you'll get at just also squaring up the club. So
Yeah.
really keep your head behind this ball. Pumped, mate. 101.
Oh.
Right? You did move ahead it a wee bit though.
Right. Okay.
Right, so generally if you've moved ahead of it, you go a little bit that way, you're going to end up having to go like this and dump a bit of energy.
Yeah.
Right? If you're here, you rip it back really hard and like that.
Yes.
Like, see if you ever see long drivers, you see their left foot, it almost always either turns open or goes back the way, and they'll be like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But that's because they've like pressed into it so hard and stayed so far back here that they're actually coming off it.
Right. Okay.
And whereas if you go like this and go like that, no danger you're jumping off that left leg.
Aye.
I mean, if you keep your weight behind it though, you can really go like that and push that back.
Right. Okay.
Right. So take it away fast and stay back. Nice. You just got a wee bit short there,
Yeah.
and you tried to like, transition a bit quicker.
Yeah.
But it's fine. Speed's a skill, by the way, as well. It's not just like just moving fast. Like a lot of it's learning how to get a better sequence and stuff as well. So we're pulling it back, not quite hard, but like with purpose. We want it going back reasonably quick, and then I want you to keep your head behind that stick. Very straight. I thought that one wasn't too bad. That wee bit toy.
I just felt it was more deliberate,
Alright.
so that's why I was slower. I thought.
It's alright, go again. So really keep the head behind the ball. Rip at it. Nice. Bit more intent on that one. 100. Oh, you've got 105 in there. Right? Think big backswing. And so I want you, I still want you to like bump and right, pull it back hard.
Yeah.
I also want it to be like, right, don't get too short with it.
Right. Okay.
And let the club get to the top, and then from here, you can just turn and open.
Right. Oh, like I murdered that.
102 though.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, look, what did I tell you before? I don't care where this ball goes.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get you to move better at
Yeah.
this point. Because like when I ask you to then like slow down and just try and smooth one,
Yeah.
everyone's like already the backswing looks like tidier. Like that is fucking nuts how much more on point that is. Like you just already started arranging yourself so much better.
Yeah.
Come on. Let's see a good one.
It's a lower one.
See, I looked like you kind of held out on that one.
Yeah.
I'm really not joking when I say I don't care where this ball goes. You can hit sideways if you want now.
Right.
The only number I care about is that going at 105.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So big backswing. Hand paths one of the like most important bits for creating speed. Right? So big backswing.
Right.
Right? Really rip into that right hand side. Give yourself a second at the top. Hammer it. Battered.
That could be it.
102.
Oh.
But you absolutely nutted that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's go again.
It was a quality swing, mate.
How are these boys doing like 180 and stuff?
They're like the best athletes in the world, mate.
Yeah.
Come on, pull it back hard to keep the head behind the ball. Oh, nice. 100 yards. But what you've noticed here, right? The more you've kept your head behind the ball, the straighter you hit it.
It's going, yeah.
And the more effective it is. Like, it's not coming off like spinny and out to the right.
Yeah.
It's a lot more solid. So like, you heard about spin off before.
Yeah.
I've heard it through like Joseph Mayo and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He talks about it a lot in chipping, right?
Yeah.
So obviously in chipping, he's trying to create as much spin loft as possible. So spin loft is the difference between dynamic loft, which is your angle of attack at impact, and dynamic loft, say the loft on the club at impact, and your angle of attack. So let's say that's angle of attack, that's your dynamic loft. So he's trying to get them as far apart as possible during the chip, because that produces a lot of spin. The bigger the gap is between the two of them, the more spin you're going to get.
Right.
We're trying to do the opposite with the driver. We're trying to get that angle of attack and move it more up towards where the loft is.
Right.
Right? The closer that gets to the loft, the higher it'll launch, the less spin.
Right.
Or it'll launch the same because the face is still the same, but it'll like
Yeah.
come out with a lot less spin.
Right, okay. That was technical.
That is technical.
That is technical.
Yeah. But like, does that make sense to you? Like,
Yes.
Like if
I get where you're coming. Yeah.
if you saw me come down on this driver, like, and I was swinging it like that, and like that,
Yes.
it's going to spin like mad.
Yes.
Because it's just like chopping at it,
Yeah.
right? Whereas we're trying to get this ball going like, imagine it's like a shot putt. And you ever see them, it's just like perfect trajectory, no spin, it's just forward,
Yeah.
right? That's what we're trying to get the ball to move like. We want to get it a bit more that sort of way. And so we're really launching it up.
Right.
And it's like both the angle of attack, which is going to be a couple of degrees in the up, and the actual amount of loft and face, which will be like whatever, 10, 12 degrees by the time it gets to impact. Like that's a lot closer rather than you being down whatever, 5, 6 degrees on the down and also have like 10 or 12 degrees at impact. That's going to produce a lot more spin.
Right, okay.
We're trying to get you to have less spin, a higher launch. So the more you can keep your head kind of behind that stick, or at least in line with the stick. You watch my head on this one, just chip one. And it's a lot less spinny.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more up.
Such a quick awkward shot.
Swing it like that. That's why. Just fucking light.
It's whatever the thingy one.
Yeah, so if you really think more that way, okay, so you're pulling it back hard and then staying back on it, the higher it's going to launch. Oh, fucking hell, I can't swing your club. Doesn't help that I can't feel my body, does it?
You go.
Give me that one.
That's a stiff.
Geese my club, watch it now.
This is stiff, meant to be.
Oh, God. I've handed fitters a club back after like one swing plenty of times. I'm just like, no, that's me. Right. Right. You see, that's just like forward. It's not going like low and up.
Yep.
A lot more like just straight up.
Shot of yours, then.
Go for it if you want.
What is this, like
Sky
an
it, you buy it though.
stiff thing?
No, it's extra stiff. Slightly lighter, I would say, than yours. Like overall weight seems lighter. This. I've never got all my with paper mate heads.
No.
It was like stiff at a strange spot. Good. 97, but it was efficient though.
Yeah. And I think, see, these last couple of the ones have been not too bad. It's more I'm focusing on the speed thing, so I've taken out that extra.
Yeah, you're not thinking so
I'm
much
doing
about
much,
it. Like,
yeah.
I just want you to move athletically.
Yeah.
The more athletically you can move, the better.
Yeah.
I mean, you're always going to launch my club really low.
Yeah.
It's like 9 degrees and pretty stiff.
Aye. Well, that's meant to be 9 degrees, but I did crank it up a bit to 11 because I was.
Aye.
Right.
A couple of good strikes there, mate.
I'm going to give you one more. I'm going to try and get to 105 for you then.
Oh, big swing. Just rip at it. You've got to keep the head behind the ball though. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
And so really, like, have a good rip at it. Swing hard. Launch it high. One or two. Oh, you're so close. Go on. big hard swing. Right, nice wide stance. Keep the heat behind the ball. Big swing. Sorry. 100.
100.
Just don't think you kind of like bottled out of that. You've got to
Yeah.
really like get up here and then dig. I almost feel like you're trying to like jump at it.
Right. Like this is going to put more power into my left again.
Yeah, but I don't want you doing it by going that way. I
No.
still want you to keep the head behind the ball and you're like
That.
definitely. Well, I thought I was going to be faster than that.
Ah,
Still though, that's a good effort.
cool. So, for next time then, this drill, same bits.
Honestly, you could do that drill for like a good amount of time and it's never going to do any bother to you.
Right, okay.
Because there's just no downside to it.
Yeah.
Which is my favourite drills to get to give someone because there's nothing worse when you're like, right, you've got to be quite particular about this or you can go too far one way.
Aye.
And you can't really do that too much. Nice.
99.
Right. So I've got a bit of a theory as well about speed, right? That I think most people sit too close to their max.
Right.
So we've just found out what your max was just now, right?
Yep.
Your max at the moment was like 103, I think we got.
Yep, yep.
Right? And that's like stars of a line,
Right.
But you're cruising at 99 and 100,
Yeah.
right? If you look at like best players in the world, their cruising speed's about 120, max speed's like 130.
Right, okay.
Right, so they've got a good gap. Like most of them swing about 90% of their max.
Yeah.
Right, whereas you at the moment are swinging at like 98%
Right,
of your
okay.
max, basically. Kind of not far
Yeah.
off that sort of
Yeah,
region.
yeah.
Or like 97% of your max. So like, if you can actually get a little bit faster,
Mm-hmm.
then all of a sudden 99 and 100 will feel like you've got so much control.
Yeah.
You're just like chipping the club around the golf course.
Right, okay.
And that's also been like just, it's a bit anecdotal that,
Yeah.
again, but like it does make good sense. Like I've had to do quite a lot of work on speed training, and like so far that's what I've found as well.
Yeah.
It feels like my cruising swing, I'm like barely trying. Sounds alright.
98. So what's that wee machine then?
So that's a PRGR. So like you can get that like a bundle with that, and I've got it with like the speed sticks.
Right, okay.
So it's good to do speed work without any balls in front of you, because then you're not getting any negative feedback. Obviously, like you're seeing bad shots happen just now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If you can just do swings where you're just trying to swing it hard,
Uh-huh.
and you're not getting the like negative feedback of bad shots, it gives you a little bit more freedom to rip at it.
Right, okay.
And you don't think so much about like, oh, I've got to make sure this is hitting a fairway, because like there's no fairway to hit.
Ah,
You're just standing in a room or like out in the garden and you're just trying to swing a stick hard.
yeah.
I mean, that'll tell you how hard you're swinging it. It also is like then handy because you can bring it in a place like this and be like, right, has my cruising speed maybe moved up a bit?
Yeah.
But you've got to actually increase your like max speed like a good few mile an hour before you start really seeing the cruising speed bump up, because you've got to think that cruising speed is like a percentage of what your max is.
Yeah.
And ideally, we'd like to see you swinging at like 90% of your max.
Right.
And so like
Yeah.
my max on this is probably like about 120 with like a driver in my hand, but I'm like cruising at like 113ish
Right, okay.
sort of thing. So like that's quite a comfortable gap. It's like
Yeah.
good enough sort of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, if you can give yourself that little bit of space between. Yeah, like if I'm freezing cold now, chip on it now, it'd probably be like 108, 109 or something. Right. There you go. Good
Right.
guess. Right. Freezing cold, they warm up.
Yeah.
Like that's what tends to happen. Right. Still freezing cold, they warm up. We'll try and step on one a wee bit. I'm not going to white knuckle it, but should get a couple extra mile out of it. There you go, 113. So like,
Yeah.
you should have the ability where you can step on one and get like a good kind of 5, 6, 7 mile an hour faster.
Yeah.
That gap will separate a little bit more if you're warmed up,
Right, okay.
sort of thing. So obviously, like it's cold and now
Yeah.
I'm not going to get a big gap between the two.
Yeah.